Good morning and welcome to Connect Church Community Online. I'm Scott Wright and I'm glad to be with you this morning, a week after Easter. We're going to be talking about John chapter 21. We're going to be thinking about going from the Last Supper before his death, the crucifixion, and of course his burial, and of course the resurrection. And then after the resurrection, he meets with his disciples for breakfast, those who have been going fishing. And so we're going to see this good story from the first breakfast, okay? From the Last Supper to the first breakfast. J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, in reference to the Hobbit's lifestyle and different things, he says that there is breakfast at 7 o'clock, second breakfast at 9, there's levensies, there's lunch at 1, tea at 3, dinner at 6, and supper at 9. So, I kind of like the second breakfast idea right there. But here you have the first breakfast. Jesus, the story is going to lay out and tell us some things of what Jesus did after the resurrection with those that personally knew him, okay? And so Jesus' third appearance here, and we need to focus on that now. It is his third appearance. Verse 1 just gives an introduction. This is how it happened, okay? And so that's what he's talking about. This is how it happened. In verse 2, you see the people who are involved, the characters here in this story. You've got Simon Peter, you got Thomas, Nathaniel, you got the sons of Zebedee, James and John, and you have two other disciples that it doesn't mention. But you're talking pretty good majority of them here, and so they are fishing, okay? And so this is what it's saying right here. Peter, right in front of all of them, he's aggravated in verse 3. Now, it is important to remember, again, this is the third time that Jesus has appeared during his resurrection, okay? So the word's out, they've seen him. So here it is, the third time, and Peter says in verse 3, I'm going fishing. It's like, is there doubt? Is there discouragement? Yes. And is it in our life? Yes. And so here he is. He's like, no, I'm going back to the old way. I was going to be a preacher. I gave it all up for Jesus, but I'm just going to go fishing, And it's like maybe it'd been too much time in between the visits because, there were 40 days that Jesus was appearing to some of them, at 500 at one time. But here, when you're starting to look at this, sometimes we're in a hurry for Jesus to do something, and he don't show up exactly when we want to. He did say, that I'm going to be with you. Okay, I'm going to raise on the third day, but sometimes we just can't catch these things. We can't get these ideas into our head. Well, after Peter says, I'm going fishing, notice this. We're going with you. That's exactly what these other disciples said. So, I'm going fishing. We're going with you. And then now they got on a boat. They got on a boat. They got on the boat, okay? So let me tell you the result, okay, of trying to go back to the old way, okay? They caught nothing. Now, let me tell you something. There is nothing to go back into Egypt that's going to help us. That is the past. That represents our sin. There are some good things and some good memories we're going to remember with our family and things that have taken place. But let me tell you something. We have got to quit focusing so much on how good we had it. Okay, we didn't have it that good before Jesus came, and I think sometimes there's a big lapse or a gap in between this, and we don't get. But they caught nothing. Now, not only that, but the sun's about to rise. Now, they caught nothing. So I got to thinking about this with they caught nothing. They had the talent. Man, they got professional fishermen right here. But they caught nothing. They had the tackle. They had the equipment. Man, they got everything. Man, they had all the up-to-date stuff. Man, it is amazing to me how much technology and how many tools and things that we have to make our life better. But the key initiative is we have to go and do the stuff. Now here we are. Talent, they didn't catch anything. Tackle, they had all the good equipment, they didn't catch anything. All night long, the sun's about to rise. Turnout, he wasn't there by himself. Peter wasn't there by himself. Man, there's a boat full of fishermen. Man, there may be a couple that don't know much about fishing, but they had the talent. They had the tackle. They had the turnout. 7 of them are there. 7, okay? But not all that. Think about this. They had the time. They fished all night. And then the same result is this. Guess what? They caught nothing. What'd they catch? Nothing. And that's why when we get out there and we try so hard to do things without Jesus, you will catch nothing. Man, and it's like we want something so bad and we won't even see the Lord working in those situations. But the Lord is working in His work that He has specifically for you and I. Say, we can't be somebody else. We can't be in somebody else's business. We're supposed to be in our Father's business and how He wants us to be. And sometimes, man, we are just so worried about what other people think and what everything. And so now the sun's about to rise. Man, there's no shortage on talent, tackle, turnout, or time, but they have caught nothing. And then they see somebody over verse that they caught nothing. Remember, in verse 4, Jesus is on the shore. Okay, Jesus is on the shore. Now, do they know it's Him? They did not know it was Jesus. Okay, now here they are fishing. Okay, all night. Jesus is right over here on the shore. Okay. But they didn't realize that He was there. I'm going to tell you something. If we're not careful, ladies and gentlemen, we will forget that Jesus is right there. He is close to us. He will never leave us nor forsake us. He loves us. He encourages us. And I'm going to tell you something. Doesn't matter what you've done, your sin, your disappointment, man, all these things, man, you know what? Jesus is going to hug you and say, I love you. Come on. Let's do a little better. Come on, I'll forgive you. As long as you confess it, I'll forgive you. Let's go. So here we are, the first breakfast, and we're not to it yet. So this is just part 1, and we're going to listen to part 2, and we'll actually get to the breakfast. You got the resurrection of Jesus. This is the 3rd time He has shown Himself. And I'm going to tell you what, we need the Lord to show Himself to us today. May God bless you. Thank you for listening this morning to Connect Church Community Online. Have a wonderful day.